The year 2022 was particularly special in the Asia-Pacific region. It has been a quiet year in the political sphere and also in the Chinese streets. The world's second biggest economy, China, has completely shut down entire cities and locked millions of people in their homes under a strict zero-COVID policy to curb the high rise of COVID cases in a country of a population of 1.4 billion people. Such measures were quickly felt in countries heavily reliant on China, such as neighboring Thailand. However, such restrictions for others were not as important as the rising threat of a military confrontation in the Asia-Pacific. South Korea described a record-breaking run of weapons tests this year of North Korea as very grave and serious. This acceleration has alarmed Seoul and Washington, D.C., which called for further reinforcement of the South Korea-US security alliance. China was closely watching the kind of the undesirable American intervention in the region's affairs, but the visit of the former US Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan has so angered Beijing, which called the landing of the second-in-line in the US presidency on Taipei's airport as a major political provocation and a challenge to China's sovereignty.
China has fired multiple ballistic missiles during a set of military exercises in the air and the sea encircling Taiwan.
China now ramping up its show of force around Taiwan. China's military exercises around Taiwan now entering their 6th day.
The response was immediate from Beijing, which conducted live fire drills around Taiwan. Tensions over the island were feared to mount to a major escalation and consequently a war between China and the United States, especially after both countries' army were too close and where a misstep could lead to a direct confrontation between the two global superpowers. Therefore, a meeting of the two countries' leaders was inevitable. Xi Jinping, who was elected for a third mandate as Secretary General of the Chinese Communist Party in 2022, talked face-to-face with Joe Biden ahead of the G20 summit, in which they stressed the need to have a sense of responsibility for history and to put the US-China relationship on the right course. As the year 2022 approaches its end, so did the COVID restrictions in China. Beijing has announced an easing of its zero-COVID policy, following 3 years after it recorded the first case of COVID-19 in the world. In 2022, a series of events happened in the Asia-Pacific that has changed the political landscape in the region, with the Chinese influence in international affairs becoming more apparent and a scale of power starting to have a new balance.